skip to my MMA.
Rough. Thank you guys for the support. It means a lot to me. If I choose to fight again, I'll be back strong. If not, I'll see what God has in store for me. Thank you.
Or the break, we had a young man from San Diego, Taylor, ask me about the UFC 244 drama. Madison Square Garden, November 2nd. What is going on? I'll tell you what is going on. So the fight that they wanted and were working on as of recently was Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is the reigning defending UFC welterweight champion. He won the belt back in March when he defeated then champion Tyron Woodley. There's a lot of heat between Usman and Covington. A lot of bad blood there. They do not like each other. This was the fight that was perfect for Madison Square Garden. Perfect. Well, around 5 or so days ago, starting to make the fight, starting to get it done, starting to make it happen. They need to get it done. It's 2 months away. They're having trouble. Negotiations with both sides hit a snag. UFC has no tolerance for this. They want everyone to fall in line. So they quickly turn their attention to Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. Massive fight. That doesn't go really anywhere. Doesn't go very far. So then they turn their attention to Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. And Jorge Masvidal signs up. Jorge Masvidal is on board. As of yesterday, that fight was like at the goal line. Almost a done deal. And then they hit a snag with Kamaru Usman. But last I heard, they're closer with him than they were a couple hours ago. You may have seen a tweet from Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal is coming off those amazing 2 wins this year. Darren Till knockout in London, 5-second knockout against Ben Askren, is a huge star right now. Game bred. They love him in Miami. Dale, all that stuff. So that's the fight that they are now turning their attention to. Masvidal versus Usman. Covington has been left on the sidelines. They're tired of negotiating with him. They feel like he's asking for too much, so they're turning their attention to that. But I am here to say that would be a mistake. That would be a big mistake. You are eliminating 2 big fights to make one that has no heat behind it whatsoever. Also, there's Leon Edwards out there who's kind of on the sidelines, who may be used a little bit as a negotiation ploy here. But what I'm trying to tell you is Usman Covington is the fight that you have to make. And Diaz Masvidal is the fight that you definitely have to make for Madison Square Garden. Do not kill those 2 fights to make one. And if you put Masvidal in there against Kamaru Usman, you have a chance where Masvidal loses, and now you can't make the Diaz fight in the future because Diaz isn't fighting a guy who just lost to the champion. You need to focus right now on trying to make Usman versus Covington and Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. Masvidal versus Nate Diaz is the biggest fight the UFC can make right this second with Conor on the sidelines. Biggest fight. You got to make that fight. You have to make it for Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden needs a big fight. It needs a big marquee attraction. It's bigger than International Fight Week now. It's New York City. It's Broadway. There's a lot of options right now for people to watch, for events, to attend events. You need a big event. You need a big fight. And that's Nate versus Masvidal, a fight that is bigger than the title. So they haven't officially booked Usman Masvidal. I believe it's there for the taking if they want it. But I also believe they need to take a step back, call an audible, and look at the direction of Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal. That's the fight to make. Both guys want it. Both guys are on board. Make that fight. Keep Covington, Usman. Do Tyron Woodley, Leon Edwards, and it's all there. Don't mess this up.
Nate is yours. Wow, number one. Who saw that coming that quick? We saw it coming. It's a lot of bullshit going on in the welterweight division. Y'all thought I was difficult. Y'all thought it was me. Colby a bitch. Make sure my daughter heard me say that. Colby is a bitch. Oh, everything he a bitch. He was supposed to fight me before I fought Till, before I fought Usman. Talked all that shit. Never pulled up. Now he was supposed to fight Usman. Now bullshit going through the wall about that. That may not happen. So your boy might be back. That silhouette that fought Usman was obviously not me. So time for the chosen one to get geared up. It's strap season now. Usman, you did your thing, dog. I'm coming to get that back. And then I'm whipping Colby ass, because that's just a necessity. We don't even have to make it a fight. Just, we can do it right here at Bob's Discount Furniture if we got to. All right, so gearing up, pumped up. Nate versus George, dope fight. They just, funny enough, they just fought two of my teammates. Crazy. One just fought Anthony, one just fought Ben. They was both victorious in those fights. And unlike some people, which I want names, I don't really. How you doing? Give me 1 second, sir. I'm just gonna look around. Yes, I've been in before. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it, brother. Nice to meet you. Thank you. So I don't just, oh my God, I'm so happy. Am I happy Ben got knocked out? No, that's my guy. He had me for so many fights. Devastated he got knocked out. I know Masvidal for a long time, trained for a long time. I'm not going to be mean to Masvidal, but I'm not going to overly advertise I'm so happy for his victory. That's not how this game works. Talked to Ben a lot about the situation. Obviously, CBDMD, Monster, Metro PCS. We had 2 weeks where I was with Masvidal straight up for 2 weeks straight. And, yeah, he's been around the block for a very long time. Used to just do all the talking with his hands. Now he's talking a little bit more verbally, and he's getting some opportunities. So can't hate on the guy. I mean, just because he beat your teammate. Same thing with Nate. Nate just beat Anthony Pettis. And, it was a great fight, especially being gone away from the sport for so long. He came out, he did his damn thing. You can't hate on that either. So that fight is crazy. I don't know who's going to take it, striking for striking. All we're going to see is a high-level boxing match. And I don't know what's going to be the main event. If they're going to be the main event, which they very well could, or if it's going to be Usman and me or Usman and Colby or something different, we don't know. My opinion is going to change depending on how many rounds that fight is. 5 rounds or 3 rounds, my opinion is going to change.
Bend the knee. Bend the knee to Triple C. Bend the knee.
I'm the only one who won't bend the knee after I knock you out.
Triple C takes no prisoners. Man, woman, the elderly, they cannot get it.
You can invite me. I can come now.
Come. You don't want to.
I know you're gonna laugh. I know you're gonna laugh.
Got some hands, honey. Got some hands.
Very cute. You're cute.
If I'm so cute, let me come here.
Bring it. Bring it. Let him through.
Henry, you want to get down here? He made it down pretty quickly.
Bend the knee. Bend.
Yeah, well, because the thing is on Dominick Cruz's Instagram, I saw they had some fan experience village set up in Abu Dhabi, and they have pictures on the walls of certain fighters, and I think they're life size. So Dominick Cruz went up to and he was standing next to them. Oh, there he is, and he's got his hand over the head, and, making out he's so small, and then he's posting videos of little people shooting guns. Now listen, I get it, Dominic, I get it. Okay, you're trying to get the fight. You're talking a little smack. You're trying to rattle the cage of Henry Cejudo. But there's one thing that springs to mind when I see all of this. Pot calling the fucking kettle black. Jesus Christ, I hate to break it to you, Dominic. You are not bouncing around tall, dark, and handsome. Maybe on your tippy toes with a nice big solid pair of Nike Air Jordans. You're a couple of inches taller than him. At best.
Well, Dominick Cruz 5'8", Henry Cejudo 5'4". Leave Dominic alone. Let him have it. Finally in his life, he gets to make fun of somebody else's height. It feels good. It feels good. Let me tell you something. I'm 6'1". You know how nice it feels to walk up to Harrington's 5'9", fucking short ass and just pat him on the head, go, you're cute, and then walk past him and keep on going. It's great, okay? Being tall is awesome.
Cejudo and Cruz, I mean, I saw a lot of people talking about the fight online and saying Cruz is out of his mind if he was to get that fight. End of the day, he hasn't forced his losing his belt to Cody Garbrandt in 2016. That said, he is an OG of the division. He is one of the best from the division. He was a long-time champion, you know, so it kind of makes sense. But if I'm not mistaken, I saw Dana say a while ago that Cejudo has to defend against Joseph Benavidez at 125 or vacate that belt. So if he does fight Cruz, he's going to give up one of them.